Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining me in this video. The controversy surrounding the suspension of the Kogi Central Senator, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has deepened with allegations that the signatures attached to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions report were not for the endorsement of the suspension, but rather attendance record. So, you see, I want you to follow me in this video to the end. This video, further expose the atrocities being committed in Nigeria, like in budget, in everything you can think about. Now, it is in the public and everybody's aware about the issue between Natasha, the female senator, with embattled Senate President Akpabio, and many controversies surrounding their issue. Now, you are aware that Senate, suspended Natasha for 6 months. Maybe they needed the report of the suspension to take to the court. They discovered that the Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petition did not really sign the suspension. In other words, Natasha was not legally suspended. She was not officially suspended. So they used the attendance list to forge the signature. In fact, the signature was forged. Okay, and Akpabio now came to announce that Natasha has been suspended. This is how Nigeria is being run. Okay? If you don't know, you don't know. This is the way Nigeria is being run. The system has been like this together, and there is no way any tangible progress can be made from a system like this. No, just watch out. Apart from a situation where Akpabio was presiding over a matter, he is a defendant. Okay? He's not supposed to preside over the matter because he's the defendant. So he's the one defending that he did not sexually assault somebody, and he is the head of the panel sitting as the Senate President doing all sort of things. Now, I read this report from Premium Times. Okay, Premium Times is a news platform, and they publish exclusive fresh controversy trace Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan suspension as senators disown committee reports. This is going to go down against Senator Akpabio. Okay. This is going to go down against him. Why has Akpabio allowed himself, to go down in this manner? Forging signature because you want to suspend a woman who accused you that you embarrassed her sexually? And there is no way Natasha will get fairness from Senate's report because Akpabio is still in charge. So I think what the former Senate President Bukola Saraki told Akpabio ought to be the ultimate thing Akpabio should do. What could that be? Just step aside. First of all, hand over to the Deputy Senate President for the period of time that all this thing is going to happen, even though they are still your people. Okay? Now, let me read the article of the Premium Time report for you, and I'm going to explain some things for your understanding why this is a very, criminal case that's supposed to be taken up. But Nigerians don't ask questions, they don't care. Okay? Now, it reads that the controversy surrounding the suspension of Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has deepened with allegations that the signatures attached to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions report were not for the endorsement of the suspension, but rather attendance record. This led to confusion at a closed-door Senate meeting as some senators reportedly claimed their signatures were misrepresented to give the impression of unanimous support for the suspension. So what that means is that they don't have 2/3 majority to suspend Natasha Akpoti. Even senators who do not agree that Natasha should be suspended, they forge their signature and put their signature on the paper that yes, that everybody unanimously endorsed the suspension of Natasha. This is a criminal offense. And as I do say, if Nigeria is a working country, if Nigeria is a country that is working, if Nigeria is not a corrupt system, someone like Akpabio now should be impeached. If it is in China, he will be facing a firing squad. Yes, I said so. If Akpabio is in China, he will be facing a firing squad for doing this. He should be facing a firing squad. What could someone accuse you of sexual harassment? It's a weighty allegation. You should step aside. And you people went ahead to forge signature to suspend somebody who accused you. You understand? Now, for you to know the rottenness of Nigeria system, Senator Natasha, I don't know if she was right though, she went to the United Nations to report the matter. And later, the Nigerian representative from United Nations said Natasha was suspended for the misconduct. What kind of misconduct is above forging of signature by the senators? Who is going to say so? Who is going to, take the matter up? Nobody. Nigeria is not for you. Anyway, now, let us understand the attendance or endorsement, of this matter. So on 5th of March, members of the Senate Committee on Ethics convened to investigate the seat rearrangement dispute between Mrs. Akpabio and the Senate President, Akpabio. On the day, senators who attended the committee sitting signed the attendance register, while others abstained. Based on the Senate rules, all senators can attend committee meeting, whether or not they are members of such a committee. Also, all the senators who attend a committee meeting can sign the attendance register. On 6 March, when the Ethics Committee Chairman, Neda Ima Swen, presented his report on the floor of the Senate, the attendance sheet signature were included, creating the impression that all signatories endorsed the committee's recommendation. I hope you understand it. On one of the key recommendations in the report was to prohibit Mrs. Akpabio from identifying herself as a senator both locally and internationally. For the 6 months, she would be on suspension. Mind you, that is contrary to the law. Some senators who signed the attendance register have now reportedly distanced themselves from the report with the argument that they were not allowed to review the final draft before it was presented on the floor of the Senate. A senator who attended the meeting where the matter was discussed but requested not to be named told Premium Times that the proper process should have been for the committee members to examine and approve the report before its presentation. However, members were unaware of its content until it was publicly read on the Senate floor. This is Fulabano. So the members of Ethics and Privilege Committee are not aware of the content of the document Akpabio came to read on the Senate floor that Natasha Akpoti is being suspended. This is very shameful and it should not have happened. That as a member of Ethics Privilege Committee, you are not aware because you did not sign. They forged your signature. They took your signature used to sign for attendance. They assume that is the signature for endorsement. And they put it up there. Akpabio was reading it before members of the committee came to the notice of what Akpabio was reading. That is how Nigerians' budget are being paddled. Everything about Nigeria is just fraud. And all these, major issues, Nigerians pay lesser attention. They don't even want to talk about it. No, let everything be going. The kingdom of darkness. If you hear about kingdom of darkness, don't think it's spiritual. We are seeing it now. Nigeria is a kingdom of darkness where impunity strives, where everybody believes that nothing is happening, nothing goes wrong, so you can do whatever you like. Anyway, now on the matter of the suspension, Premium Time reports reads that on 6 March, the Senate voted to suspend Mrs. Akpabio for 6 months following the Ethics Committee's recommendation, which is not. The people from the committee now are saying that, come on, we didn't sign for it. 2/3 majority didn't sign for it. The decision was based on the Ethics Committee report, which indicated her for alleged misconduct during a plenary session on 20 February and her refusal to adhere to the chamber sitting arrangement. The Senate also imposed several penalties on her, including the withdrawal of her security aids, the closure of her office within the National Assembly. All Senate properties in her possession will be handed over to the clerk to the National Assembly. At the same time, she was also prohibited from entering the National Assembly premises during the suspension period. Just look at this, is insane. Without investigating the whole matter. Anyway, I'm not the Senate. I'm not interested in all these shenanigans. So the articles continue on the Premium Times. You can go and read it out on the Premium Time. But I needed to explain some things to you that if Nigeria were to be China, Akpabio should be facing a firing squad. And when you see countries progressing, people are running to China today. They are going to show you that China is big, that you can do business in China. Can Nigeria do what China is doing? Tell me a Nigerian, tell me a Chinese man that terrorists will invade their community and kill somebody. And the same man will just feel free and travel out and said nothing is going on. That was how Chinese build their country. They don't tolerate rubbish. So The way we are tolerating rubbish, you can't build a nation like that. And that is why we can't get to their level. Take it to the bank. There is nothing that will make Nigeria to progress. As far as all this killing, insecurity is happening, and the powers that be, including you watching me, you people are not interested. You don't care. You don't try to, seek for the solution. As far as you are concerned, as far as you see your daily bread, that's just all. The people that die doesn't matter. Nigeria will continue to go down because the influencers, including the pastors, imams, the musicians, just both public figures and everybody, they are totally disconnected from the reality in Nigeria. Totally disconnected, and it is a shameful thing.
We have suffered in many ways and continue to do so is because we make the wrong choices. And that could very well be true. And my brother who spoke about choices so very well told us that it all rests on the choices that you make. And you who are Christians will remember that at critical moments, even in the Christian tradition, it has always been a question of choices. If you read the book of 1 Kings at chapter 18, when there is conflict in that little place called Israel, Elijah summons them and says, choose you now. If Baal is God, bring the 450 disciples of Baal and the 400 of Asherah who dine with Jezebel. And if God is God, let him be worshipped. If Baal is Baal, let him be worshipped. Perhaps that is the reason why we are where we are. We never make the right choices. We choose Baal when we should be choosing God. There are those who have said possibly, and you see this choice if you read the book of Joshua chapter 24, when he calls the Israelites and tells them, choose you now. Do you want to worship the gods whom your ancestors worshipped before they crossed the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell? As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Perhaps we are not serving the gods, and that the gods are angry. And in the anger, they continue to visit pain upon us. So there is a sense in which all and many things have been talked about. But Africa sometimes judges ourselves very harshly and with a jaundiced sense of history. The post-colonial African state, the oldest post-colonial African state is Ghana, 66 years only. Nigeria, 63 years only. And we often forget these very important and immortal words of John Henry Clark when he said that all African countries, upon regaining independence, started to conduct their affairs on the basis of systems of governments that were borrowed from Europe, and that none of them will ever succeed on the basis of borrowed systems. And as if he were a Jewish prophet, he is being proven right on a daily basis. Because whenever we in the African countries think that we have identified the problem and that we have identified the antidote, when we apply the antidote, new wounds appear. That has been the state of Africa, and that continues to be our state. And therefore, when we judge Africa, we must ask ourselves, from whose lens are we judging Africa? When in 1965, the Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah wrote the book Neo-Colonialism, the Last Stage of Imperialism, and the Most Dangerous, he was right, and he was overthrown for it, because the colonizer left but never left. And if you have any doubt, see what is happening in Niger, in Guinea, in Burkina Faso, in Mali. They are alive and well. And Africa remains the only continent in the world that is still referred to as Francophone, Anglophone, Lusophone, and now we are beginning to even call it Russophone and Sinophone and Indophone. There is a sense in which we must never forget this, so that when we are judging Africa, we ought to judge her on the basis and upon the realization that the headwinds that stand on our path are